Three, two, one. Okay, so what we're going to be doing in this video is we're going to pick up where we left off in our How to Use Google Sheets series. You can find them on the channel, and you can subscribe if you like to be notified when we do future how to use Google Sheets or any other content, how-to content, how to use technical products and services. That's what we do here at quikStarts. We make it easy to use technical products and services by creating step-by-step instructions. So in our last video, what you see here on the screen, we created a chart, a bar chart, also known as a column chart. We placed some content in these cells. We auto fit the column width. We added dates. We've added amounts. We formatted these columns based on their content. We sorted. We did some auto summing as well. What we're going to do now is we're going to add a drop down box. All right, and we're not just going to add a drop down box in an area that's unpopulated. What we're actually going to do is go to a cell that has a static value in it, a single amount, $100, and we're going to format this cell in such a way that it not only has a drop down menu, but it has a drop down menu with multiple options. Okay, and just for fun, we're also going to auto sum these columns and show you how, even after we've changed the value in the drop down, the auto sum functionality still works. And as a matter of fact, why don't we do that now? We're going to create a new row. We're going to name it total. We're going to make it bold simply by highlighting the row by clicking on the number, then coming up to the B. You click that, you bold the text. We're going to also slide the word total all the way over to the right hand side of the cell. Just for optics, it's a little easier to just look at the total, be able to clearly identify it. In fact, we're going to also make it a little larger, just for style purposes, making it easier for us to identify. So column C, row 6, is where we're actually going to place our amount using the auto sum functionality. So to do that, you simply highlight the column by clicking in it, and you come up to the secondary toolbar. This is the primary toolbar, the first row, directly underneath the name, the first menu, directly underneath the name of the doc. And the secondary toolbar is the toolbar that comes after that. While this cell is selected, we're going to press the function symbol. There are a lot of functions here. We want to select the sum function. And rather than try to figure out what this what appears to be a linear algebra equation, it can become a little intimidating and confusing if you're just starting with a spreadsheet program of any kind, including Google Sheets. The good news is you don't need to do anything here. You simply, this is your cue to click and drag to select the boxes that you would like to have auto sum. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to click column or cell C2 and then drag C3, C4, and hit enter. Okay. So what Google Sheets has done is auto summed. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because, as I said, you can see this in the other how to use Google Sheets videos on the quikStarts YouTube channel. What I am going to do though is I'm going to insert a drop down. We're going to use this first column for this demonstration. I'm sorry, the first cell for this demonstration. So we select cell C2. We come up to the data option on the primary menu bar of primary menu, and then we want to come down to where it says data validation. Left click on data validation, come over to this criteria row, select this window, and we want to select actually, let me take this from the top because I have made a mistake here. Data validation, list of items is what we want to select. You will not see the word drop down in this list, and for some that's a challenge. Obviously I just missed it myself. List of items is what you want to select. So what we need to do here is keep in mind whatever values you insert into this field, they need to be the same format as whatever the items are that are in the field. If not, you'll get an error message, and I'll just show you what I mean by that. So we want to keep 100 as an option because that's what's there already. We're also going to add 200 and 300 just for the purposes of this demonstration, and everything else, all of the default settings are fine. You come down and click save. Okay, now what you can see is there's now a tiny gray arrow next to the right of the 100, and if I tap that, I see that I have the three options that I created. Okay, now I've clicked out of that because I want to talk about something else before we move on. The error that I spoke of earlier says here invalid. Item must be in an input must be in an item on the specified list. Okay, so without spending a lot of time on this and making this quick, what that message essentially means is that when we formatted our list that would be included in the drop down, we use raw numbers, but as you can see, these cells have a $sign in front of them. That's because they are formatted as a currency. They are formatted as a currency. So that's not a major problem. You simply go back to data on the primary menu, the first menu, you go to data validation, and what you need to do is insert a $sign in front of each of your options. What you cannot do here is format this field to match these cells. There isn't a way to format this field so that it's automatically currency. You have to manually do it, which I've just done. Hit the save button, and you notice our error indicator is no longer showing. When I come to the drop down, all of my values are there with the $sign to represent the currency format. Then there's something else that's interesting that you've done if you've been following along. At the beginning of the video, we showed you how to auto sum this cell, or I'm sorry, how to auto sum these cells and show the number here. So what happens if we change, now that we have these three options, instead of just having 100, we have three different options to choose from. Let's suppose we grab the third option, 300. What would that do to this cell? Let's find out. Okay, it actually altered the value of the cell, which then altered the value of the auto sum. So now we have $300 plus 200 is $500 plus 300 is $800. Let's change it to 200. Same thing. Google Sheets automatically recognize the changes that you made here and pass them into the sum here. You'll notice this chart, which I haven't spoken about until now, which is also in our previous How to Google Sheets series. All of them are live at this point. If you want to know how we made this chart, you can go back and look at the the series, and we created this chart in that series. But what I wanted to point out here is you notice the chart values also dynamically updated. So this is part of the power of software, right? Being able to write this logic out so that things that would typically take multiple manual steps can be automated. You're leveraging the computer's processing power, and you're getting the computer to do what you would normally have to have done manually prior to computers. So as you can see, month 1/1 value is 200. That correlates to these two cells. Second row, month 1/1/2021 is 200, correlates to this column. And last but not least, 1/1/2022 correlates to the last and third row. We're going to change this back to 100, put it back where we found it, and that's it. If you want to learn more about how to use technical products or services, including Google Sheets, subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave any comments or questions, and tell us if you found this useful. Tell us if you want to learn how to do something else in Google Sheets or any of the Google Docs suite of products, or any software product for that matter. We're up for the challenge. What we do here is make it easy for people to learn how to use technical products and services by providing step-by-step instructions.